again, this is an interactive session. I don't know everything, so if you've got a shortcut or a tip you want to share with the group, go ahead and share that with me or with us. If you've got a question, I will answer it as best I can. If I don't know the answer to it, I will get back to you. Winona always sends out a follow-up email, and I'll try to have the answer for you in that follow-up email. So don't be shy. So why Canva? Canva is a great tool for people who, like me, I don't have a design background. You know, I have an idea in my head of what I'd like a social media post or a presentation to look like, but I don't know how to get there very well. So it's a great help for people like me that may not have the time or the experience to create really beautiful designs for the public. There are a multitude of present templates that you can choose from. You can build a brand template that you can use throughout whatever you create in Canva, which is really helpful to be consistent, because that way people start recognizing your brand throughout a variety of media. I say it's used by millions. It is pretty much a business standard. If you're looking for a design helper, a lot of people use Canva. There are other tools out there like Adobe Spark is another. If you don't like Canva, you want to look at another system, Adobe Spark does very similar capabilities. So what can you do in Canva? Typically it's used, you can create presentations, promotional items, social media posts, annual report, videos, just a multitude of things. They have many platforms that are directly connected now. So you can create a social media post and immediately upload it to Instagram or YouTube. They now have a print function. In my previous job, I would create something in Canva and then I'd go to Vistaprint and I'd upload what I have in Canva to Vistaprint, and I would order business cards, cups, t-shirts, whatever. Now you can do that directly in Canva, but I would encourage you to do price shopping still, compare pricing to local printers or promotional item providers to make sure that the price you're going to pay through Canva is competitive, because you can still download whatever and present it to your printer or whatever. There's a team function. So if you have remote workers, let's say you've got a social media person who is in Vermont and they're doing your social media for you, they can directly access your Canva account and you can work on projects together, even though you're not in the same room. And now they have AI that is built in that is awesome. I was playing with it yesterday and it's amazing what it can do. So lots and lots of tools within Canva. The plans, you can actually get a free Canva account. I'll show you, there are this little icon here, the little crown, those are paid for features. So not everything is going to be available to you if you have a free account. Most businesses like us will have a pro account, and that is $7.50 a month. So for a limited time, normally $15 a month, which still, it's about $180 a year for the capability that you get out of this system. If you have teams, you know, you can get a business account, and then there's this enterprise system, which we're not going to get into, but they do have different levels depending on the business that you're in and how much capability you need. The pro account is going to give you a really robust platform to work from. The free subscription, you get, you know, lots of capability. You get 1.6 million templates that you can pull out and work through. You get limited AI access. So you still do get AI access with the free subscription. The pro subscription, you get, you know, 3.6 million templates. Do you really need that many templates? Maybe. I mean, depending if you're looking for specific things from that template. But you also get this affinity with AI, the professional photo layout and vector app with AI. So some of this you may not need, but as we work through it, you'll see, there's a lot of capability for pretty minimal amount of money. If you have a nonprofit, you can get an account that's the Canva Pro account for free. You've got to submit your nonprofit status up to them, and then you have ability to use a lot of the capabilities from Canva. That's my final slide, so we'll get out of that. And let's see. We're gonna go directly into Canva. Okay, so here's the home page. The first thing I want to cover with you is the navigation of the screen. Can everybody see this okay? If you can't, please move your chairs up a little closer. I'm going to accept all cookies. Okay, so I logged into the Central Virginia SBDC account, so you guys can see some of the features that are available. And this would be classified as a pro account. We're a nonprofit, but it's, this is what you would see as a pro account. This is the home page. And notice here it says your designs. So the top menu is showing me my designs. This is everything that we've done in Canva that's specifically for the Central Virginia SBDC. Over here, you've got templates. So these are generic templates from Canva that you can pull off and use on your own. So let's say I want to do a poster. I click on poster and it gives me all kinds of posters that I can pull off and tailor to my own company. And we'll go through an example of what you can do there, how you can change it to make it look, to tailor it to your own. Then you've got also Canva AI. So now the menu's changed and it gives you really easy access to either your designs that you've done previously. Usually you go into a project knowing I'm going to use something that I've done before. For example, we do office hour posts for our advisors that are in the counties. So we would go into our own designs and choose what we used previously and revise it. The Canva AI, so it's got design, image, create a document, create code, so you can create in Canva and plug it into your own website, or create a video clip. And we'll go through the AI function as well. I just wanted to show you this the top navigation menu. You also have over here on the left-hand side, you've got menu choices as well. So you have create. So here's like a blank sheet for, I'm going to create a design. My point is that you've got a variety of access entry points on the Canva front page. So if you get lost, just go back to the home page. You can always put in the search icon, what you want to create, and it'll take you right there. Okay. So that's the create button. The home button takes you to the home page. Projects are things that you've done recently. So we have, for SBDC, we have folders set up on things that we're doing in social media. We do a client spotlight where we've gotten our clients permission to put their a little, information blurb about their business, either in our newsletter or our annual report. So we keep those in a file. We've got our county partner logos that we use frequently. So we've got all those things in a folder in our projects. We also have Next down is templates. Again, you had templates up here, and you also have the choice to go to templates over here on the side. Branding. This is a very powerful way to put everything about your brand in one spot. Okay. So previously, if I was looking for an SBDC logo, I would go through our upload file, which is hundreds of pictures of logos, clients, advisor pictures, different events that we're holding. And it took me a long time to find the brand, the picture that I was trying to find. Now it's captured. You can load everything here in your brand file. Okay. You've got your logos. So there are our logos. You've got our colors. These are from our Virginia head office. These are SBDC colors. You'll see as you're working with different designs that you're creating, that you can apply your brand to the project you're working on. So it'll apply the colors that are sanctioned for your brand. It'll apply the logo, the font, etc. So it's really handy. Those are colors. Fonts, we've got different, what are the fonts for the different sections of things that we do? We don't have anything loaded into brand voice, but you could put, what is the personality of my brand, which you can use that in AI to create things as well. So if you want a consistent brand voice, which we all should have for our businesses, load that into Canva and you can apply that with AI as you're creating things. We have photos. No, we don't have photos, but we have graphics and we have icons. So these are things, you'll see it in our slide presentations. You'll see it on our business cards. People will change icons that you use and logos that you use. Culpeper has changed their logo over the 3 years that I've worked here. So we would load that into our Canva. So we use the proper logo and we're not using old logos. So the branding function, keeps all of your brand together in one spot. I would encourage you to think about using that, setting that up, because that's pretty easy to set up. And then Canva AI, again, you've got the menu choice at the top here, or you've got it here on the side. And that is, we'll look into that too. Down here with the little ... we have apps, grow, and we have design school, where I spent most of my time yesterday doing tutorials. This is powerful. I don't think this was available 3 years ago or 4 years ago when I was working a lot in Canva. But if you choose a topic, I'll show you what it looks like. One of the things I wanted to share with you is how do I tie my social media? Let's see. Okay, what do I want to learn? How do I connect my social media account to Canva? How to connect your social media account to Canva. It's a 1-minute video. Then there's more. Social media mastery is a 23-minute video. But if you click on this, it'll play. That's Okay. So when you go to, let's see, if I'm in a design, we have ours tied to Gmail and we've got it tied to MailChimp. So I can click that button and it'll go right to MailChimp. Okay. So that's the Canva Design School. When you've got a spare moment, I would encourage you to take a look in there and just put any search term in there. You know, how do I create an email? And it'll bring up a tutorial for you. There's another tutorial we're going to do a little bit later, but let's see, go back here to, oh, okay, going back to the homepage. Okay, so that's kind of the outer navigation piece to it. I also want to show you the inner, like if you're in a project, what's the navigation tools that you have available. Because there is, you know, there's so much in here that it's hard to remember all the different tools that you have available to you. So the first, this top menu here, you've got a lot of capabilities for revising what's in the design already. Okay. So let's say you want to change the this portion of the post. So hit edit. And right now that font is Georgia Pro something, Georgia Pro condensed right here. Okay. If I want to play around with this and do different types, I can ask it to search for a specific type that I'm looking for. Or it's got some prompts here, like I can click on display, and that gives me all the fonts that are available that are display type fonts. And I click on one and it automatically changes it. Is this new to people or are you real familiar with this? New. Okay, all right. You can, you know, change a group of things at the same time. So anything that's highlighted there, you've got multiple fonts here. If you wanted to change them all, they all change at the same time. Now, if you decide I don't really like that look, there's a little back arrow here. You can go back to what you originally had. So I'm back to the original where I can't go back anymore. If I want to change, let's say I want to change the picture here. I can go over to uploads. Actually, let me stay with the font here. So you have text color, and this brings up a palette for you to choose from. It'll show you the most used colors here on the left. But if you want to see all, you just click on the see all and then choose a different color. Okay. Bold. Bold is, depending on the font that you're using, bold may not be available. It'll be dimmed out if you can't use the bold function there. If you want to make it in italic, it was in italics, so switching, toggling there, underlining, strike through. You know, if you want it all uppercase, if you want it a combination uppercase, lowercase, that's available. As you get rid of that. So you can, nothing's undoable. If you're worried about it, you can always make a copy of your design and work from the copy and still have the original. So These are, alignment. You have your right adjusted, center adjusted, left adjusted, or spread out throughout the page. Here's your bullets, if you want to use bullets. This is a very handy tool when you're in design. Okay, the letter spacing right now is at -45 because it's scrunching it together. So you can stretch it with your letter spacing. Your line spacing, if we had several, lines of text here, it will spread it out or it'll scrunch it together. And that's really helpful if you're doing like an ad, and you want it to fill the page or you want it to condense so you can fit something else on the page. That's a really helpful capability there. This is the transparency of the font color. So you can make it, I always get transparency and opaque mixed up. I think opaque is when it's darker, but you can change the transparency of the text that you've selected. You can go over here to effects, so you can, there's a variety. You can shadow it, you can outline it. You can change your outline color is here. So your text color is still up here. And you can change, I'm going to make this really disgusting, but okay, so I'm going to go back to my effects here, and I've got, what are the two colors I'm using now? And let me see. Oh, trying to get there. Change it to another color. There. Okay. All right. That's pretty distinct. You can animate this. You can animate on entry, on exit. Let's do a send. You can do the whole word. You can do the character, or you could do the whole line. So there's all kinds of animation in here that you can choose from. So you've got roll. Some of these will make you car sick. So you want to be careful of, how you're using it. You can change the intensity of it. You can, reduce it so it's more gentle, and then you can remove it. Okay. Positioning, you have, for example, these words are laying on top of a green background. If I want to send it backwards, I can send it behind the background. If I want to bring it forward, and I can bring it so that we don't have a lot of elements here, but that it's sitting right on the top. It's the first thing on the layer. It's the top layer. Same thing with any of these photos. I want to send it backwards. Goes behind the mountains. I can bring it forward so it's on the front. This is a kind of a difficult one to show this on, but the paint roller, we'll look at a different one to show you how you can copy a style. So I'll do it on the words instead. Okay, so see if okay, I'm going to use the paint roller. I'm going to copy this style to here. Maybe. Let's see. There it is.
Hmm.
Okay, so if you want consistency, typically with posts and that kind of thing, you want to use a couple of different fonts to attract attention. But if you're trying to get consistency without trying to go back and figure out what was the font I used, you can use that little paint roller to copy the same font that you used. You can do the same thing with graphics. So I'll try to find something that we can do that with as we progress here.